Hi friends, welcome back to Reader's Workshop. So last week we talked a lot about gathering big ideas about our books, right? We talked about different strategies that we could use. We can add captions, we can think of questions and find the information and find the answers to our questions inside of our nonfiction books. Today, what I want to talk about is how we can use all that information and start to organize it, right? So, looking through my book that I've been reading, I have a lot of sticky notes, right? If I'm looking through, I'm flipping through all the pages, like I have sticky notes on almost every one of my pages, right? So, I have so much information. So, once readers have gathered lots of information about a topic, it can be really helpful to start to organize that information. So, instead of having sticky notes all over my book and all over the place, what I want to do today is I want to choose a way to organize my information that matches what I've read. So readers can do that. To organize it is to look across all the information that they've collected as a group and ask yourself, what are the categories? What are the main idea topics that I've learned about? And how does that information fit into those topics? So I'm going to show you how I can do that. And I'm going to look how I can see and find facts that are related under the same topic in my book. So I know that this book is all about my five senses, right? So if I'm looking through some of my pages, I know that this page had my idea all that this book was all about: seeing, smelling, tasting, hearing, and touching. This page has my sticky note about what the five senses are. Sorry, my camera's a little blurry. This one was my big idea about the book, right? And then throughout the book, I have post-it notes about different captions or ideas that I had or information that I learned throughout this book. So I know that my big idea about this book is that the whole book was about, we'll say, the five senses. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show how I can put those facts together all onto this same page or onto my whiteboard. So I'm going to take my sticky notes throughout the book and I'm going to try to sort them into topics based on what I've learned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little diagram like this to sort my information. So I know that at the beginning of the book, right, I had my big ideas. So I'm going to put my big ideas together. So big idea, the different things that I thought this book might teach me about. All the different things of my ideas of what this book might be about. Right, and then I started learning about my eyes. So I'm going to put the eyes post-it notes together. Diagram. So you need your brain and your eyes to see. Right, this one said confirms the ideas about using senses to learn about the world. So I'm going to keep this down here with my big idea that matches that big idea. I'm flipping through my pages now. I knew the next part was all about hearing or my ears. So I'm going to put those sticky notes together up over here. So I know that all of my information about ears or hearing are going to go together. So I have some more. So I'm using what I know from my book and I'm sorting them based on the topic, right? So I know that the whole book was about my five senses, but what I'm doing now is I'm taking that information and I'm sorting it, I'm organizing it. So it's not all over the book, right? It's all in one place. So I can see that, wow, I have a lot of information about hearing. So I'm gonna put this all together. So if I look at my whiteboard so far, right, I have my ideas about the big ideas of the book or what I think the book was going to be about. I have my information about my eyes and seeing. This one is all about hearing. So I can see that this one doesn't have as much information here. So maybe I can go back and I can reread my book to add some more post-it note and add some more jots down. So today what you're going to do is you're going to work to sort the information from your nonfiction book that you've written on your post-it notes so that you can put it all together and kind of organize that information. So if you haven't jotted down a lot of things, or if you don't have that many post-it notes or information written down on your post-it notes in your books, you should spend your private reading time today doing that. So you're going to be reading and jotting down information that you think you would want to share with your partner. So then when it's time to partner read, right, you'll have all that information, you can kind of start sorting it. So today you have a few jobs. You need to be reading your nonfiction book. If you don't have that much information jotted down yet, I want you to make sure that you have a post-it note with you, a bunch of post-it notes actually, so you can go through your book and you can jot down that information. Then when it's time for partner reading, you and your partner can kind of sort your information just like what I did, right? So you can use a piece of paper, right? It doesn't have to be a whiteboard. It can be a piece of paper. You can have a web, almost like what I did, right? You can put your whole topic, that's what your whole book is about, in the middle. Then you can start organizing, right? So I have my big ideas, my information about seeing, my information about hearing. And then as I go through my book, I can add even more information. So today, make sure you have your nonfiction book, you have a pencil or a pen, and you have your post-it notes so that you can jot down more information. Then when it's partner reading time, you and your partner are going to work to organize that information that you've learned throughout your nonfiction book. Off you go.